G'day blokes and chillers, the man behind the Milkshake is here with another character storytime video, where I write some stories with my OCs and narrate them for you guys. Hope you enjoy. Sally and I left the store. I turned towards Sally and put the diamond necklace around her neck, causing her to burst into tears as she hugged me tightly. Thank you, Sally said. You're, crying, I replied. You're the nicest person I've ever known, Sally said. She hugged me tighter, which caused me to hug her back, smiling softly. After a few minutes, we broke the hug and continued to walk together. Sally said that she was going to take me to her house and introduce me to her parents. But once we got to the end of the street, someone grabbed Sally from behind, causing her to squeal. I quickly turned around, unsheathing my dagger. Your blood will make a good meal, the person said. I'll suck you dry. A vampire. Guess this is one thing I can't get away from. Tightening the grip on my dagger, I took a step forward, which caused the vampire to look towards me with an evil, disturbing smile. Get your filthy hands off her, I said, right now. But she's my dinner, the vampire said. Remove your hands, I said, now. A small crowd of people started to form around us, whispering among themselves about me and the vampire. Of course they were keeping their distance instead of rushing in to help. That was a good thing though. I didn't want anyone to get hurt. The vampire smirked at me before piercing Sally's neck with his sharp, pointed fangs. But before his fangs could go too deep, I rushed forward and grabbed Sally by the arm, pulling her away from the vampire. His fangs cut across her neck. Stay behind me, I said. Sally nodded. Looking back to the vampire, I saw that he had a disturbing smile on his face. I knew what I had to do. The vampire rushed towards me and scratched me across the chest, pain exploding through my entire body as I stumbled back. But I didn't fall, mostly because the vampire had grabbed me by the throat, squeezing it hard before slamming me straight into the ground, punching and kicking me across the face a few times, before smirking and turning away from me towards Sally. Blood was dripping from my mouth and nose as I got back to my feet, gripping my dagger tightly. Damn, I couldn't react fast enough. My injuries hadn't healed properly and they were slowing me down. The vampire looked over his shoulder with the same disturbing smile on his face. You're a tough one, he said. How about you just give up? You'll have to kill me first, I said. Guess I'll do that then, the vampire replied. The vampire ran at me, but I quickly, using lots of energy, jumped over him and landed on the ground behind him. We turned towards each other and had a stare down until the vampire rushed me, but this time I drove my dagger straight through his heart, causing him to explode into a pile of dust. I picked up the fangs sitting on top of the pile and put them into my pocket. There was always something left behind from the monster when they died. I sheathed my dagger before turning towards Sally and walking over to her. I softly brushed her hair from her neck and examined the cut that she had. They're not too deep, I said. You won't turn into one of them. I ripped one of my shirt sleeves off, revealing my scars, before folding it and pressing it to Sally's neck, telling her to keep it there to stop the bleeding. She nodded, holding the cloth, keeping it pressed against her neck. Two adults soon appeared, and the female grabbed a hold of Sally, hugging her tightly. The woman looked like an adult version of Sally, while the man had salt and pepper hair that was balding on top and didn't look like Sally at all. Well, except his eyes. Sally's parents, I guessed. Are you okay? Her mother asked, worried. I'm fine, Sally said. Thanks to Yuri. Sally's father looked towards me with a kind smile on his face before he gave me a firm handshake, which I returned. Thank you for saving my daughter. Thank you for saving my child, he said. If there's anything we can do for you, just ask. I, kinda need a place to stay, I said, until I can find one for myself. You can stay with us for as long as you need, Sally's mother said, and I'll even treat your wounds for you. She gestured to my arm, which I tried to hide. Thank you, I said. And that's all for today, everyone. I'll be going to do what I usually do for the rest of the day. Please, if you want, like and subscribe. And if you really want, turning on notifications is good too. Thank you all very much for watching. Catch you in the next video. Hooroo.